So I thought I'd find out how much more brutal I can make this weekend because oh my god, it's kind of been the perfect storm of sports for me this weekend. Cyclones lost to Kansas State. The Hawkeyes won in double overtime against Michigan State. Auburn sucks, donkey balls. Let's see what else. UNI lost. They're 1-5. They suck right now. Let's see what. Then today, as if it couldn't have gotten worse, the Vikings lost to Washington, and the Packers beat Houston to give them their first loss of the year. So, anyway, but enough of that shit. I'm gonna try to get through an ROH review since I haven't done one of these in a while, and I just want to give you my take on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Okay, so Ring of Honor Wrestling for the whole month of October on television. They're doing the Survival of the Fittest tournament. Something that they've done. Something that they've had on pay-per-view and like in recent years, but since it's the 10th year of ROH, I guess they decided to put it all on television just for us. So the first match on the show tonight was the Prodigy Mike Bennett along with Brutal Bob and Maria Kanellis against the returning American Wolf Davey Richards onto television. Ooh. Really, I could give two shits about Davey Richards. The only reason I care about this match is for Mike Bennett and Brutal Bob and Maria. I mean, anytime I get to see Maria on television, it's a bonus, I tell you that. Anyway, it's pretty standard Richards match. Bunch of kicks and a bunch of submission moves and false finishes and this, that, you know. Richards ends up going over, like you would think. But not really for why you would think, because it is another reason for Mike Mondo to come out there and steal another kiss from Maria, and that's kind of fun. Kind of going through this storyline with him and the Prodigy Mike Bennett. They're got a storyline where Mondo's basically stalking Maria and this and that, and, you know, so. If this match did anything, it kind of furthered along that storyline, and Richards goes into the finals at the end of the month, the final six-pack challenge to see who's going to get a title shot against whoever the Ring of Honor World Champion is at that time. So, other than that, is okay match, I guess. Even though I don't give a shit about Davey Richards so much, so. Oh, wow. Okay, so your next match was scheduled to be Jay Lethal versus Tommaso Ciampa in another qualifying match for the Survival of the Fittest tournament. But first, we get a promo from the Barrister R.D. Evans. His name is Barrister R.D. Evans, but you already know that. And another thing you should know is that Tommaso Ciampa fought with a torn ACL and torn meniscus against Jay Lethal in a 2 out of 3 fall match at Boiling Point. And so Evans puts over Ciampa as a warrior, a stallion, a thoroughbred. And what do you do with a thoroughbred with a broken leg? You put it down. And so Ciampa starts to go after Evans, and he picks him up like he's going to go for Project Ciampa. But then you see Evans' newest client, and that's God's gift, QT Marshall, not Marshall, Marshall. Get it straight. And Evans ends up taking his crutch to Ciampa and hits him right in the knee, which brings out a whole bunch of officials and this and that, you know. And then they go to commercial, and then when we come back, you got the match with Lethal and Marshall. And one thing I like about what Lethal's done in recent weeks is that he's gotten more aggressive. I guess something about what Jim Cornette said to him. It's like, Like we want to see more of a Killer Instinct out of you. Well, they've been showing it, and they showed that little clip from last weekend where Jay Lethal actually went after Jim Cornette after the match against Kevin Steen, and I basically think it's all the work. But be that as it may, one thing I will say about managers in Ring of Honor is that they actually interfere. Kind of like what Evans did against Lethal in parts during this match, and kind of like what you see with Brutal Bob and Maria when they with the prodigy Mike Bennett. It's like that's something you don't even see in WWE. You don't. All they do is just fucking annoy you, like Vicky Guerrero and hell, Paul Heyman doesn't even get involved really. But so it's kind of different in ROH, I guess you'd say, but as far as the match itself, it was a decent match, and Lethal ends up going over, and now he's into that 6-pack match or whatever you want to call it for the right to earn the title shot against the Ring of Honor World Champion. So, and another thing I didn't mention is that towards the end of the match, somebody we haven't seen on ROH television in a while, Prince Nana came out to attack R.D. Evans after he stole the embassy from him, and that's about it. But Lethal advances. All right, then you got the Inside ROH segment where old Hermie talks about Glory by Honor 11, which happened last night in Mississauga, Ontario, and first thing he talks about is Rhett Titus introducing his new tag team partner, which turns out to be B.J. Whitmer. And they showed that this was last week on ROH television, where he challenged the Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. And Whitmer comes out there, and they had a match in which Titus and Whitmer won. Whitmer ended up suffering the same fate as Jay Briscoe back at one of the Showdown in the Sun pay-per-views, where he went balls first into the ring post. So then you also see a promo from him promoting his match later on in the night against Kevin Steen for the ROH World Title. Then they also showed Kevin Steen and Michael Elgin having a fight in the middle of the ring, and Roderick Strong, or Martini goes up to Roderick Strong. Strong does nothing to help. They're still teasing that angle where Strong's just basically trying to hold Michael Elgin back. Then they also talk about the 3 Survival of the Fittest matches next week, which are going to be Mike Mondo against Kyle O'Reilly, Homicide against Roderick Strong, and then the battle of 2 members of the House of Truth, Michael Elgin and the Man Beast Rhino. Alright, then you get to the main event for the ROH World Title. Kevin Steen out there with Jimmy Jacobs, along with Steve Corino sitting in on commentary with Hermie and Nigel, versus Rhett Titus along with B.J. Whitmer in his corner. Really, there wasn't much to say about this match, I don't think. Jacobs tried to get involved with his trusty spike, but Steen ended up winning with the F-Sank, so Steen is still your champion, and that's about all I can say about this match. Alright, my final thoughts on this show is there's probably a reason why I haven't been watching ROH too much, because it's just so hard to get into the product anymore. I wish I could have watched this show 2-3 years ago when there was more good people on the roster, when Chris Hero and Claudio were on the roster and Tyler Black was on the roster, even when Danielson was on the roster, and you know, it's like there aren't really that many good reasons to watch this show, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, Kevin Steen's good to watch. Briscoes are good. I like watching Bennett. But other than that, it's just hard to watch sometimes. Actually, probably a lot of the time. But Anyway, let me know what you thought of the show down below, and I'll talk to you later.